Good Monday morning, everyone. Welcome back to Weather with Sim again. I hope you guys are all having a great day so far. And in today's weather forecast, we're going to be going over the tropics. Plus, we actually do have some threats of severe weather to be going over, which as of right now, most of them are for the Rocky Mountains. So we're definitely going to need to be watching these areas very closely the next few days. And then we'll also be going over this system that is already a post-tropical cyclone, and it's likely going to turn into a tropical depression sometime today, and then will definitely turn into a tropical storm, and then potentially a major hurricane by the time it gets closer to Bermuda. So we'll be showing you guys all that. But let's first go ahead and talk about for today's severe weather threat. And as you guys can see, we do have a marginal level 1 out of 5 threat for severe thunderstorms across northern Utah into parts of eastern Idaho and as well as western Wyoming. Plus we got another one over here for southeast Wyoming all the way through eastern Colorado and as well as down here towards northeast New Mexico. These areas will need to be paying attention very closely for today. Thankfully no tornado threat, but there is going to be a wind threat around across both of these areas, and there will even be a hail threat, especially for the one across southeast Wyoming all the way down to northeast New Mexico. So you guys in that one need to be on high alert for both, but you guys in Utah, eastern Wyoming and as well as western Wyoming need to be watching this extremely closely. So I hope you guys will at least be paying attention to the weather, as some of the thunderstorms could be severe. And then as we do head to tomorrow, that marginal threat gets way more expanded across a lot more areas, and that's because the storm's going to be growing in size a little bit. So as you guys can see, a lot more areas like northern Utah into Wyoming, eastern Idaho into a pretty good portion there of central and eastern Montana, and as well as the western Dakotas back into Nebraska and as well as Colorado will all be the areas to be watching for as we head into tomorrow. And as you guys can see, we also do have a threat for some damaging winds and of course some large hail too as well. And it turns out that Utah looks to be a little bit more at risk for tomorrow, because today there's just a damaging wind threat across Utah, but tomorrow there's both a damaging wind and hail threat, as you guys can see pretty much right there. So you guys in Utah need to be paying attention a little bit more tomorrow, but you guys should still be paying attention today, as we could very well be seeing some damaging winds. But again, as we head into tomorrow, damaging winds and large hail will be possible. And then finally for day 3, which will be after tomorrow on Wednesday this week, and as you guys can see on Wednesday, we do expect there to continue to be some severe weather across some of the same areas, but that does expand a little bit more into the Midwest too as well. They haven't issued the hazard yet, but we will let you guys know about that as we head into tomorrow. Let's now talk about what we can expect with this system. Like I said, as of right now, it's just a post-tropical cyclone, and as you guys can see, it's going to continue to develop into a tropical depression by the time we head into Tuesday morning, but this could very well even be a tropical depression before Tuesday morning, so it looks like sometime tonight is when it will develop, and then likely strengthen or rapidly intensify into a tropical storm, and then by the time it hits Puerto Rico and as well as the Lesser Antilles, we will likely be seeing some tropical storm conditions, and which could include the potential for some flash flooding. We could even be seeing some storm surges, and we will definitely be doing that as this thing does get closer, as we're going to be talking about the storm surge and what we can expect. As of right now, it's kind of uncertain whether it's going to be a tropical storm or hurricane by the time it reaches these areas, but I'm just saying it's probably going to be a tropical storm by the time it hits these areas. So like I said, as we do get a little bit closer, we will be going over the storm surges and as well as the tropical storm probabilities. But like I said on my community post, this thing looks to strengthen into a hurricane as it starts turning to the north. and that could definitely indicate a potential hurricane, if not major hurricane, as it goes towards Bermuda. And again, you guys in Bermuda need to be on extremely high alert, if not on a very high alert, because not only is this saying that it will just be a Cat 2 hurricane, which is what I said on it, which is what I said on my community posts, and that's also because there's no M showing up, but this thing could rapidly intensify to maybe a Category 4 hurricane, because some of the models are pointing that out, and so that could definitely mean get as most prepared as you have ever been across Bermuda. So please be prepared in Bermuda just in case this thing were to rapidly intensify into a potentially catastrophic major hurricane. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the total rainfall. And like I said, we'll be going over the storm surges and things like that as we get a little bit closer, but we'll talk about the rainfall though. And as you guys can see, we could be seeing some 6+ inches across the parts of the Lesser Antilles, especially the northern part of it. But then Puerto Rico looks to be getting the hardest with the potential of 6 to 8 inches of rainfall. So you guys in Puerto Rico need to be on most high alert, especially because the system could really, be rapidly intensifying to maybe as high as a high-end tropical storm, which does bring that potential for winds as high as 70 miles per hour. Now, let's go ahead and look at the flash flood potential, starting off with today, where we do have some areas to be watching for. We got one across eastern Colorado and western Kansas, and then we got another one across eastern Oklahoma and as well as northwest Arkansas. Plus, we actually do have one across the Carolinas too as well, but we're not really concerned about those areas as much as we are concerned about the plains and as well as the Rocky Mountains. Now, for day 2, as you guys can see, we do have that site risk continuing to the east. Still could be some lingering flooding across parts of the Rocky Mountains, but we still continue to see that risk for some flash flooding across parts of Missouri, northern Arkansas, eastern Kansas, and into southeast Nebraska, looking to be the highest potential tomorrow. And then finally, as we get into Wednesday, some of those same areas could very well experience flash flooding once again as we do head into Wednesday this week, but it does expand a little bit more up there towards Iowa and as well as parts of northeast Nebraska into Illinois and as well as some other parts of Missouri. Now, let's look at your total rainfall. This is anywhere from now all the way to August 22nd, okay? So we're only looking about a week and a half out, and as you guys can see, so we do expect there to be some pretty big rainfall totals with this storm as it continues to move towards the east. From what I'm seeing, it looks like it's going to be dying down before it even reaches the Ohio Valley, but you guys in the Ohio Valley still need to be paying attention just in case the thing does strengthen. But again, we're mainly, watching these areas for right now across the Midwest and playing for that potential of flash flooding. Some of these areas like northern Missouri, eastern Iowa, and as well as western Iowa, so both western and eastern Iowa, and as well as eastern Kansas, eastern Nebraska, and as well as northern Missouri could all be seeing some isolated amounts of 3 to 4 inches of rainfall, because you guys can kind of see those maroon colors across all those areas, like pretty close to Davenport right there, could maybe get 2 inches, and parts of western Iowa could see some more widespread to scattered totals of a little bit more than 2 inches. So it just really depends on the storm, but like I said, we will at least be watching for some higher isolated amounts with the storm system, so definitely be on high alert if you live in any of the Midwest or Plains. And then we do see some rain across New England, but that's probably going to be a little bit later though, especially after this wave makes it a little bit far to the north where we can maybe get some scattered storms off of it as it heads to the north. But like I said, this is going to be well off the coast. We're not really concerned about the United States getting anything in the way of a major hurricane, but like I said, we could still get some scattered thunderstorms flying off of it, and you guys can kind of tell. But if we go ahead And I'll say thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy today's weather forecast. We will definitely be keeping you guys updated with the latest on this weather. And like I said, thankfully this doesn't look to impact the United States, but like I said, some isolated thunderstorms could be possible from it, so that's something we are going to keep you guys updated on, and then we're especially going to be watching for that potential severe storms to be impacting parts of the Rocky Mountains and as well as the plains, maybe continuing into the Midwest, and then maybe even continuing into the Ohio Valley somewhat, but we're mainly concerned about the Midwest, plains, and as well as the Rocky Mountains as of right now.